watch daily videos, and ace your GRE preparation. Don't forget to click on the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the channel once again. This is Aishwarya, and today we are going to talk about a very important component of GRE, which is reading comprehension. Okay, so what I'm going to do in today's video is I am actually going to solve a reading comprehension in front of you to actually show you how do you actually approach a reading comprehension question in your GRE. Okay, so that's going to be more about today. But before that, there is a link given in the description below. That's the link for free ebooks. So if you guys want to avail free ebooks for practice, all you have to do is you have to go to the link, submit details, and on your emails, you are going to get a link for all of those PDFs. What those PDFs are, those are the 50 must solve reading comprehension questions, 50 must solve text completion questions, 50 must solve sentence equivalence questions, 50 most repeated GRE words, and 100 most repeated or must solve quantitative comparison questions. Okay, so for your practice, to do daily practice and everything, you have to just go to the link below and download. And for people who are struggling with their preparation, don't know what to do, have some queries or doubts, all you have to do is you just have to send me an email on grekingforstudents@gmail.com, and I can schedule a 15-minute session with you in which I can help you with the preparation. Okay, and for all the people who are already attending, so this session today is going to be just a part of how we actually teach in the normal lectures, live webinars. So every Monday and every Friday, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock is the session wherein, all GRE toppers come on board. Every Monday, it's a quants lecture, and every Friday, it's a verbal lecture. And we cater to students wherein, we slice and dice your reading comprehensions, text completion, sentence equivalence, and your quants topics as well. So if you want to join that, there is again a link given in the description. All you have to do is you have to go to the link which says that you have to buy the GRE advanced course, and you can use the coupon code GRE King 50. That would be really great for all of you. Okay, now let's start today's session. Just before that, I'm just going to share my screen, and we are going to actually slice and dice a reading comprehension question. So let's go. Okay, so this is the reading comprehension for the day. Okay, so what I am going to do right now is I'm going to actually read the reading comprehension, and we'll start together. Okay. Okay, if you can see here, let's read the reading comprehension. Let's read it together and understand how do you actually solve. So in the 21st century, terrorism has become a common term in the day-to-day political vernacular. However, despite its prevalence in everyday conversation, the term terrorism is not easily defined. First, there is the question of target. There is a large debate over what the target of terror must be. Many writers believe that the targeting of innocents is a key component of terrorism. Okay, so they are talking about terrorism and what are the causes. So here it is told that the first question that arises is what's the target. There is a debate over target. Who is the target? Okay, so first there is question of target. Large debate over what the target of error must be. Many writers believe that the targeting of innocence is a key component of terrorism. The first point is targeting of innocence. Douglas Lackey writes, the common soldier is not a terrorist because the majority of his victims are soldiers and a minority of his victims are civilians. So he's saying that the soldiers are not a terrorist. Okay, because majority of his victims are soldiers and minority. So all bomb kill things in their target radius, regardless of military status. They are indiscriminate by nature. Lackey goes on to argue that what makes a bombing campaign constitute indiscriminate killing is the targeting of an area with a high ratio of non-military units to military units. Okay, targeting area which has a high ratio of non-military units. Thus, discrimination is not in the weapons used, but in the targets decided upon. So he keeps a point here that, if we are talking about terrorism, one of the key factors is the target. Who is the target? Who are these terrorists targeting? Okay, let's go back to the second paragraph. A second controversy is that of circumstance. That is, whether or not terrorist acts must be performed in times of peace, or if they can include acts perpetrated during war. Okay, so what it means is, like, do terrorists perform acts of war in times of peace, or do they perform it during war? So some believe that even in a war such as World War II, terrorist actions can be undertaken. However, there is a viewpoint that in war, the right to certain types of attack expands, making actions that might be considered terrorist in other contexts, such as surprise attacks or raids, justified. Okay. Now let's come back to the last paragraph. Right now, what we have right now, we have the author speaks about that, the question of target arises, and second is the circumstance. Okay, so who should be the target? And he says that, soldiers are not a target because the victim is going to be soldier and minority is going to be civilians. Okay, and they also talk about that, the second controversy is the circumstance, that does a terror attack occurs during peacetime or during wartime. Okay, so they say that it might occur during a war also. Okay, so that is what they have said right now. Let's come back to the final last paragraph and see what it has. The final controversy is that of perpetrator size. This debate largely manifests itself in the question of whether or not state actors can be accused of terrorist action. While Ariel Mirari acknowledges the possibility of state-sponsored terrorism, he decides to narrowly define terrorism as a body of violence perpetrated by sub-state insurgent groups. Okay, sub-state is another state, okay, another part of the organization that is there. And what do you mean by insurgent? Insurgent is nothing but a rebel or a revolutionary. Okay, so he does so because if the definition of terrorism is equally applicable to nuclear war, conventional war, and guerrilla warfare, the term loses any useful meaning. Unlike some theorists, Mirari does not reject state actors because of a pro-state bias, but rather concludes that the broader the term becomes, the less useful it becomes in a dialogue. Now, the most important problem that a student faces is that, you are most of the times confused about how it is going to happen. Like, when you are talking about reading comprehension questions, so your concentration level decreases. Okay, you are not very sure about how are you going to actually go about a reading comprehension, and while you are reading you get lost. Okay, so first and the most important thing is stay glued to whatever topic is being taught. That becomes like really very important, because what happens is that, you have to read. It's going to be short paragraphs, as GRE reading comprehension is going to be very short. Okay, so first and the most important thing is you have to stay glued, because the topic might be of your interest and the topic will not be of your interest. Okay, just to summarize what the author has taught here is, so they are talking about terrorism. Okay, and they are talking about that the term is not easily defined, and what are the questions that arises. So they spoke about the target. How does one decide the target? Second thing they spoke about is the circumstance in which a terror attack takes place. And in the third paragraph, they are talking about how what is the state, the sub-state insurgent groups, does it affect or it doesn't affect, and how does the definition revolves around. And they spoke about two theorists also. One is Douglas Lackey and the other one is Ariel Mirari. Okay, so after you are done reading reading comprehension, the thing which I told you, like, just this is something that you should be able to summarize. Okay, so I have summarized the entire passage. Now let's go back to the question. Okay, it is very important you read to the entire passage, because what's going to happen is, if you are going to read the question first and then go back to the passage, you would not be able to understand the context of the passage and it becomes really difficult. Okay, if a passage has only one question, okay, then you can read the question and go back to the passage, try to find out the meaning. But this passage is going to have three questions, so I'm not going to follow that approach. That is why I read the entire passage. Now let's go to the question. Lackey and Mirari would be most likely to agree on what judgment regarding terrorism. Okay, so here you have to figure out that, Lackey and Mirari, in the first paragraph we spoke about Lackey, and in the last paragraph here we spoke about Mirari. Okay, now you have to choose an option by which Lackey and Mirari, both of them are going to agree. Okay, that option, both of them have to agree with that option. So that is the option that we are going to figure out. Now let's see. First one is that an individual soldier in a country military would not typically commit terrorist acts in the course of duty. Okay, so that an individual soldier in a country's military would not typically commit terrorist attacks. Okay, let's get to the second option, that an attack that targeted primarily civilians rather than members of a military would necessarily be a terrorist attack. Okay, I don't think this is right, both of them. That an attack that targeted civilians, no, they are not going to agree on both the things. That the terrorism is very difficult to define. No, they have, both of them, this is not their statement in which they say that, terrorism is not defined. And we are talking here about Lackey and Merari. So C cannot be an option, B cannot be an option, A is on hold. Okay. D, the terrorism can only be carried out during peacetime. No, it can be carried out during wartime. It was mentioned here. So D also cannot be an option. E, that a member of an elite branch of a given country's military could not be said to commit a terrorist attack. Okay, now you might say that, this is the one that both of them would agree. Why? Because they have mentioned here about an elite branch of a given country's military, and here we were talking about whether a soldier can be a terrorist or no. But an elite branch of a given country's military, this word is not related, neither related to a state wherein we were talking about here, the state actors, are they accused of terrorism, nor does it define the soldiers. Okay, so this is a jargon which is given here just to confuse you, an elite branch of given country's military, so that you would want to actually choose that option, but it is not the correct option. Okay, so Lackey and Merari would be most likely to agree on what judgment regarding terrorism. The correct answer is nothing but the first one, which is that an individual soldier in a country's military would not typically commit terrorist acts in the course of duty. Okay, so this is something which was mentioned here also, and this is something which is mentioned here also, because what does here Merari say is, Merari does not reject state actors because of pro-state. Okay, he is rejecting, but he is not rejecting because of a pro-state bias, but rather concludes that the broader the term becomes, the less useful it becomes in a dialogue. So here, even Merari is saying that, a soldier cannot perform terrorist act, whereas Douglas Lackey, here he is saying that, the common soldier is not a terrorist. Okay. So in first paragraph and here in the last paragraph, so Lackey and Merari are going to agree with option A. So the correct answer is option A. All right. Now let's go to the second question, okay, that it has to offer. So here the second question is, in the context in which it appears, substate most nearly means, okay, what do you mean by substate in this context? So now let's go back and read. So once you have read a passage thoroughly, you would be very well aware of, because it's a short passage, and you summarized also. Reading is first part, you summarized it also. So if you summarize, you would know which part is where. Okay. Now, in the context, substate, okay, so let's figure out where substate is. We know it's in the last paragraph. He decides to narrowly define terrorism as a body of violence perpetrated by substate insurgent groups. Okay, so what does substate means? Operating under a government's order. Terrorist, insurgent. Insurgent is rebel. Anarchist. Anarchist means not a government, like anarchist means there is no law, there are no, you say, like you speak about anarchy. Okay, so that means there is no law, there is no body which defines a law. Okay, so anarchist cannot be the one, because he is talking about your substate insurgent groups. Okay, terrorist cannot be the one, because it doesn't fit in the context. Okay, so you have to figure out what does substate mean. So substate here does not mean terrorist. Okay, while decides to narrowly define terrorism as a body of violence perpetrated by substate insurgent groups. So rebel groups, insurgent. Why insurgent cannot happen? Because insurgent यहाँ पे इसका मतलब ही rebel है, right? So insurgent groups doesn't make sense. Okay, so already you have, so rebel groups, terrorist cannot be the one, because he's already talking about a statement. Okay, anarchy cannot be the one, because anarchy means there is no government, like there is no rule, no law. Okay, operating under a government's orders. Okay, so now substate doesn't come under a government's order, it is separate, like it is another component, it does not come under a government order. Okay, so the meaning of substate is here, this is the one which you have to keep in mind, which is non-governmental. Okay, so the correct answer here in the question 2 is non-governmental. Why the correct answer is non-governmental? Because terrorist is not an option. Okay, we are talking about here terrorism only. Second one is anarchy. Anarchy means there is no law, but here we are talking about state actors and some government. Terrorist cannot be the option, because terrorism is, they are defining terrorism here. Substate does not come under a government's order, so substate cannot be the option. Pending is the last one, which is non-governmental insurgent groups. And when you fit in here, it makes complete sense also. Let's see how. While Ariel Merari acknowledges the possibility of state-sponsored terrorism, He decides to narrowly define terrorism as a body of violence perpetrated by sub-state insurgent groups, by non-governmental rebel groups. Okay, so if I put it here, it completely makes sense that the groups are non-governmental and rebel revolutionary groups. Okay, so that is how we come to the correct answer, which is E. Now let's get to the third and the last question. Okay, now each of the following is mentioned in the passage as a reason that the term terrorism is difficult to define, except, okay, each of the options is giving you a reason, okay, is supporting that the term terrorism is difficult to define. Okay, so here they are talking about support, so you have to choose an option, okay, which is not supporting whatever is given in the passage. Okay, so which is not supporting that the term terrorism is difficult to define. Okay, so out of all these options, the option which is not supporting that the term terrorism is difficult to define, that is what you have to choose. It is an except question. I have done a video which talks about the types of questions. It's an except question, so don't do a mistake here. People tend to do mistake here. You have to figure out the one option which does not define that the term terrorism is difficult to define. Okay, all right, so the nature of the targets of the act, no, it is helping. Its prevalence in everyday conversation, we don't know about this. Whether the act in question occurs during wartime or peacetime, no, it is helping to define that it is difficult, right? Or it is also mentioned. So what you have to figure out here is that term terrorism is difficult to define. ठीक है, उसको कौन सा ऑप्शन नहीं सपोर्ट कर रहा है. ओके, वो उसके सपोर्ट में नहीं है कौन सा ऑप्शन. whether the act is in question occurs during wartime or peacetime, ये support कर रहा है, ये mention किया हुआ है, and it will help us define that term. Terrorism is difficult to define. Okay, same with the nature of targets of the act. We have spoken about targets of the act, and it is an important component which will help us determine that whether the term terrorism is difficult to define. Okay, whether governmental bodies can be terrorist, it is also clearly mentioned. We did it in the last question also. The fact that its usefulness as a term is inversely proportional to its inclusiveness, this is also helping us define why in the last sentence, if you see. So the one option which remains is its prevalence in everyday conversation. Okay, so this is not telling us that, you know, the term terrorism is difficult to define. बहुत difficult है define करना. ठीक है, तो except मतलब कौन सा इसमें से option is not helping us. मुझे help नहीं हो रही है इससे ये figure out करने में कि terrorism difficult है define करना. So B is the correct answer. It's prevalence in everyday conversation. Okay, so this is a kind of reading comprehension that you are going to see in GRE. Okay, what you have to do is, first step, don't hesitate, just read the entire passage with full concentration. You cannot afford to actually, like, you know, leave it and just read a paragraph and get lost. Develop this concentration level, and the second step that you have to do is you have to summarize it. Okay, so as I told you about first paragraph, second paragraph, these are the two theories that we are going to talk about, and then jump to the questions. Everything is going to be there in the brain, you just have to fix in there. Okay, so this was all from my end today. Thank you so much for watching, and there is a bell icon there. If you click on the bell icon, every day whenever I release a video, you are going to get notification about it. And if you have any certain queries or doubts, if you want me to do these videos more, just drop in comment and let me know that, you know, what kind of videos you want me to do. I'll be able to help you out. If you like the video, do share it with your friends, and the links, lot of links are given in the description below. Just check those links out. They are all useful links, and I'll see you for Monday and Friday class 8 o'clock. This is Aishwarya signing off. Bye-bye and study well. Bye.